A second night of chaos in Philadelphia. Rioters filling the streets, tearing up small businesses following the shooting of a man who police say was carrying a knife, also seen on video. Jason Rantz is the host of the Jason Rantz Show in Seattle and Tacoma, Washington, and he's been covering these kinds of riots all summer long. We remember this with Chaz, with Chop in Seattle, all the problems out there. Well, now they're occurring in Philadelphia, at least the rioting and looters are. It's good to see you, Jason, and thanks so much for coming on. Just your thoughts on this and what you're seeing so far, because what you may see is how these riots are being painted. So let me ask you, are right-wing extremists behind these riots?
Probably not. I mean, if they have, we would have a remarkable resurgence in a weird type of alt-right and right-wing extremists. I mean, clearly that's not what's going on here. You have some folks who are, I guess, understandably angry in the context of maybe not understanding exactly what happened, but you've got mostly people who are taking advantage of the movement to go ahead and loot. None of this has anything to do with Black Lives Matter, unless we want to pretend that looting a Walmart and a Target is somehow advancing something on the left or as far as the Black community is concerned in police brutality. Clearly, that's not what's going on here. And we're seeing the dreadful and painful images of another night of this kind of exploitation and this kind of violence.
Don't forget the Five Below that they're looting and the Foot Locker. There are several stores that are going on, apparently all for social justice. Do you think some folks that are being a part of this movement, they're too quick to just move on, to take action, not understanding the facts? As we know, he's a 27-year-old man was going after the cops with a knife. We've seen this on video. There could be arguments either way if they should have used a taser, which allegedly the police officers did not have. But either way, the cops were threatened with their life. They're trained to act and to step up here. Facts aren't even looked at this point. It's race and police and then social justice.
Yeah, so you have two different groups. The one I just mentioned, which are just taking advantage of what's going on so they can loot some businesses. But then you have a group of people within the movement that automatically assumes or automatically takes a position that if a police officer uses force, they are 100% wrong. There's no context that could change their mind. And so despite coming after cops with a knife in which the person refused to put down, that's a deadly weapon, it doesn't matter that the cops reacted the way they did. That they reacted is getting people upset, and they're happy, I suppose, to just move this movement along by using this incident.
I'll jump in here. I want to switch topics with you. I got a little bit of time here. This one, parents, listen to this one. You, sir, broke this story about a Washington State teacher holding a 13-year-old after class to lecture him about Trump's racist immigration policy. That student recorded the conversation. We're going to listen to what happened, and I'll get your reaction.
My question to you, why is it heroic to make a wall to keep out immigrants?
Well, it's it's illegal to do that. So he's basically, making the law, better and,
But it's illegal to, jaywalk also.
Yeah. But he's working on, important things, more important things, I meant. For example, some immigrants, come without a passport and, hop the fence and stuff, which is, totally illegal.
Right, but why is that important, though?
All right, so much wrong with this. Jason, break this down. How long did this go on? What is happening? What are our viewers seeing?
Yeah, it went on for about 10, 11 minutes. So just some context at the school, Kopachuk Middle School, that teacher, Connor Seaman, talking with an 8th grader after being given an assignment that basically says, tell us who your hero is and why. And the point of this conversation was supposed to be, hey, you're not using the right kind of sourcing when defending the president, because the student went to the White House as their primary source. That is wrong, and the teacher was right to call that out, to talk about going towards non-biased sources. But then, as you just heard, the conversation took a very hard turn to the left, where it made it pretty clear that this teacher was less interested in talking about the sourcing and talking about good arguments than he was telling this kid that his support of Donald Trump and immigration policy is just flatly wrong. And it goes on and on and on. And during this entire thing, the kid is repeatedly turning his phone to his own face to roll his eyes, to say snarky things under his breath, because he understands exactly what's been going on. And this is an attempt to indoctrinate. I reached out to the school. They're defending this teacher, saying that, oh, that wasn't the intent at all to convince the student he was wrong for his position, although they do at least admit that it was inappropriately political. I encourage people to look at the full 10, 11-minute video. It's pretty eye-opening, and I think that this needs to be a teachable moment, not just for this teacher, who I don't want to be fired. I do think that it should come with a conversation about why this is inappropriate, but really this is a teachable moment for the parents out there.
Why can't we just accept what the child, if the child thinks someone's a hero, why can't we just accept that as a 13-year-old and then move on? Why do we need to lecture?
Yeah.
I don't understand.
I mean, we clearly should, but when you're an ideologue, even when you're a teacher, you tend to have blinders on, and it leads you to thinking like conversations like this are appropriate when they very clearly are not. So parents need to understand that this is happening, and they need to have better conversations with their kids, not just about bias in the classroom, but just basically understanding what's going on in the classroom so you can intervene and be that advocate.
Absolutely. Keep the parents involved at all times there, and that's what happened. Jason Rantz, thanks so much for breaking that story.